I'm like, what?
Yo, you know what time it is. We on a different type of time today. It's your boy B2.
It's your boy Asa B.
It's your boy B Smitty.
And we are the Bramigos.
If you are just now tuning in, we are a group of lifelong friends in a space where we talk about just worldly topics and anything we really want to, shedding our opinions and much needed debates about a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We just talk our talk.
Oh, this is a much needed debate today.
Today is much needed. Try not to talk too loud. Your phones might be recording everything that we say. And the government if you don't understand by the theme music change, it's a little bit different. Today we're talking conspiracies.
Dun, dun, dun.
Boom, boom, boom. But before we get into that, B Smitty, what we drinking, bruh?
We're being healthy today.
Oh yeah,
Coffee, green tea,
meat with the agua.
and some Crown Royal.
Real healthy,
You know
baby.
what I'm saying? Get the Saturday started right.
Hey,
If you don't notice, those of you who are not watching the video and hearing the audio, on today we have a guest by the name of William. William, go ahead and let the people hear your voice. Say what's up.
hello everybody
He
in
got to be-
cyberspace and in space, in outer space.
So when you hear the guy with the big, deep voice, that's Bill.
Let's go.
Anyways, so yeah, go ahead, turn it. You can turn it down. It's getting real techno.
Yeah,
I didn't know
It
that
switched
song
up
went
real
techno.
quick,
Yeah, I'm only used to the beginning part of that song. Anyways, man, Big Will, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm actually excited about this episode.
Super excited.
No, this is crazy. This is my first venture into actually being on camera doing something.
Honestly,
on the
I
internet.
think-
so this is crazy.
So before we start, can you and I cheers?
Come on.
I know you want to go. We're gonna go in some weird spaces.
Oh, for sure.
About to
Here's
get
the weird
weird.
spaces.
Cheers.
Thank you for
saying,
coming.
man.
Thank you for coming.
Actually, Bill is probably like one of the first people that we thought about as a guest when we came up with the podcast. I think
Absolutely.
we
Oh,
knew
yeah.
that this episode was gonna be bomb.
It was
Much
coming.
needed. Yeah.
It's coming.
This may be just the first part of a couple times of
yeah.
him coming in.
Real talk. I'm with it.
Yeah, usually what I like to do is go to a segment with our mind bottlers, but today the whole episode is gonna be mind bottling, so we may as well just gotta.
Oh, wait, I do have a quick mind bottler. Though.
Out the gate.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
The
This
gate
is
ain't
this,
open.
is this is just about how rich certain families in America are today.
Ooh.
And what
like
did it? Okay, here's the list. So, the Walton family. Or actually, let me start from the bottom. Let me start from Walton's at the top.
Number
right
what? Number what?
now. I'm not sure the number. Let's say 5.
Okay, number 5.
So Charles Schwab, the family, actually just the individual.
like the investment company.
Yes, he's so rich, he can spend $1 million every day for 25 years.
Dang.
Mark Zuckerberg, he can spend $1 million every day for 195 years.
Holy guacamole.
Warren Buffett, he can spend $1 million every day for 230 years.
That's ridiculous.
The Koch brothers can spend $1 million every day for 242 years.
Wow. What?
Bill Gates every day for 247 years. Jeff Bezos, $1 million every day for 306 years. And the Waltons who own Walmart, they can spend $1 million every day for 370 years.
Bruh.
And that's if they're
Is
well.
this after taxes?
But I'm saying that's before. that's
like-
if they don't make any more money.
Yeah, that's like if everything stopped
Yeah.
when that list was made,
yeah.
which they're obviously making
ridiculous.
like hundreds of thousands a minute.
That's
So like if it would just
Wow.
stop, that's how long, and that's just how rich.
When you're that rich, what do you do? This is like liquid, like they can spend, or this is how much they're
No, that's
worth.
liquid.
This is
That's-
like they can
They
literally
can
spend that much.
They can spend that much.
What? That's crazy.
How are people so hungry on this?
That's what
No.
I'm saying. That's an
That's
insane.
It's greed. That's all that is. And you ask, what do they do? Yes, they want to know how they preserve themselves and how they can live forever
Do you think
to
they're living
maintain
forever?
that.
Is it possible?
No,
Hold on, let's not get into it yet.
I don't think not in the sense of us here, but yeah, if you think you can download your brain and scan your brain and live eternally and immortally that way, yes, yeah. Which
That's crazy, man. Like,
yeah, when you get that kind of money, wow.
Yeah.
is there a need to be that greedy if you have that kind of money?
No, I think it's just a numbers game, and then just like
Like once you get to a certain spot, you're like, I don't even care about.
it's just a numbers
The
game, and my
excess.
dick is bigger type game where it's like, all right, really, like, what are you doing? Like,
But how long does that last? How long do you?
I think
care?
it really is just like it's like a game to them. I don't
Yes.
even think at a certain point they don't really care about like necessarily like the money.
Yeah.
More
No,
so like just the power that they attain each time they level up. So
Yeah, I
Is there,
agree.
is there a difference in your richness if you can spend $1 million a day for 200 years versus 300 years?
I'm sure. Yeah,
There can't be.
No, no.
There really can't be.
No, but amongst your peers of wealth,
There is.
people,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I mean, but there's only so much that you can do with your wealth. Like,
if you look at like the mega yachts, like they each year someone's building one just 2 feet bigger than the other one. So this one's 512 feet. Next year,
I got 2
514.
helicopter
the Russian
pads.
oligarch has one that's 514 feet coming out. Like they just want to be. It's just literally like, oh, I have this.
yeah.
It's still.
So I was gonna say we're on a different plane. We work job to job,
But I think-
but we look like, we have a nice car, we have a 3-story home, and we're like, oh, the dudes do. They're on another level, the same thing. They're
But I
just
thi-
trying to outdo their peers of.
My
wealth
point
and
is,
rich.
I feel like once you're at that level, it can't become about money anymore because that's nothing. It
for
gets
sure.
more
Yeah.
eccentric, like things that you can't buy with money or things.
Oh, I agree.
Because, like, okay, I can buy a yacht just because you have the yacht that's 514. Everybody on that block could get one that's 560 if they made one. You know what I'm saying? So that's not even a thing anymore. It's like, all right, what
So-
kind of other weird stuff can
So
we
what
do?
you're talking about is, what you don't see, what they do behind closed doors.
Right.
So you see movies like Hostel. Like I'm quite sure. I mean, what do they do to entertain themselves? It can't be. They can't just go to the movie theater and
is
be
it-
entertained.
Does it all have to be so sinister? What are
right?
what are fun things you can do?
Well, I think
But what happens when you run out? Because you
That's the
you
thing.
have endless money. So at some point in time, you run out of things to do.
this is the thing. Like, I think when we talk about like, and this even that list, that's not even like the richest of the people in this world. Like we're so like that's people that we can count their money, but you still
Right.
have like sheiks and all type of people in Saudi Arabia or wherever. So
Orphanage,
yeah,
yeah.
that we don't know how much they have, or even people in just overseas that are Rothschilds and stuff like that have long money. Like for instance, I don't know if you guys ever seen. There's a documentary made by one of the Johnson and Johnson sons. It's called 1%, and he's just making pretty much exploring that idea. Like what are we doing?
Right.
Like, why is our family so entrenched on being richer and richer? And pretty much he got like blackballed from his family in a sense. But at the end, his dad just like, why are you doing this? He's like, the son's like, what should I do? He's like, I don't know, collect art, get cars, do something.
Do something, huh?
But it's like, just don't question what we're doing. Like just do something else. Like just that's materialistic. But also at the same point, those families have had money for so long. Everything that can be obtained has already been obtained
Since
in
they
their
were
house.
born.
Yeah, like it's all there.
Yeah, like, what do you aspire to do? Because all of our aspirations typically revolve around what we can do
Right,
monetarily.
Right.
Right? Some better than others. Some are just, whatever. But a lot of it has to do with money. What can we do with this money? How can we get this money? How can we get this back? But if that was never a thing, and this is a question that I've asked myself before and asked people to ask themselves is, if money was never an issue, what would your purpose be in life?
Right.
What would you be doing? And I think that's something that most people don't think about. Because
Because we're so busy trying to make money.
trying to make money.
So
To
you
do
asked,
what we
you
wanna
asked
do.
the question before, why does it always have to be so sinister
Yeah.
when it comes to people who just have everything? I don't know, because if you don't have a base or a morality center, where does it come from? What are you going to do with your time?
Just the evil.
Because you have that much money, you could save the planet. You could make sure that no one's impoverished, that everyone has some type of living wage or something, but you don't.
See, because I
You
used to.
don't. So what do you do with that money? It has to be the opposite of good.
I think it's human nature. I think because I used to think like, oh, we should have billionaires, but now when you really break it down, it's like no one should have that much power because it's just going to corrupt eventually somehow, some way. Because you just have too much, and that's just human nature for most people. There's probably a smaller percentage of people that won't do it if they were to get to that point than the people that do, that are at that point. Like to fight those urges when you do get that much power as a human being, that's like extra strength. Like that's like a different.
Man. So what he's saying right there, I feel it's the same way with politics and everything. It's like you could have the greatest intentions and you're coming up and you don't have the money, the wealth, the riches, and you're like, I want to make changes, I want to save my community, my city and all that. And then when you get voted in or reached in, you realize that it's a system that's been set up and it's a game. And either you're going to play by those rules or you're not going to be in the game.
Period.
So either you're going to be in the game or not in the game. And the game may be being put out or put to death. And so when you get there, you realize, oh, wow.
So how do you think about like a politician, for example, like you're going to use that example, like AOC, like she seems like she to our view, she seems like a person that's for the people, like really pushing agendas that are going to help solve a lot of problems. Do you think that she's like a person that's like not playing the game and she's going to get shut out like the next time?
So I used to have those thoughts, and I don't anymore. I think this may be harsh for most people to hear. A lot of people. I don't believe into the politics of things, and I do believe that if you're in the game, you're in the game. I don't care. You're playing a role in the game,
Right.
And you may have come in naive, like she is, thinking what she's, or that may be the role they want her to play. But either way, once you're on that stage, or you've been elevated to that stage,
Yeah.
you're in.
She's allowed to
or
be that.
or you're not playing. So that's the same thing with Trump and all these other people, even Obama. It doesn't matter. You've been raised to that level. You're in the game. You're playing the game. There's people behind the scenes that control these people. They're not doing their own will. They don't have their own. They have the answer to people. They're going to play the game. So yeah, for her, yeah, I think she's playing her role.
Well, let's jump right into it, man. I know we got a couple. We can go all day with a bunch of things, but let's try to streamline it and focus it a little bit on the conspiracy. So the one I want to tackle first, and you just talked about before, is flat Earth. The Earth is flat. Now, let's start from the top. All right. One, you said your basis is biblical.
Absolutely.
So what about science and the Bible makes you truly believe that the Earth is flat?
Wow. Just get
Give me the first thing that you go, okay, the Earth is not round.
Okay.
We have satellites.
Here's this is what I'm saying. So once again, I grew up like everyone else grew up. I went to school. I saw the globe. I was told that and seen pictures from NASA. So, like I said, we live in a time and age of technology and wonder.
Yeah.
I already know that you guys, if you guys haven't, especially for this show, went and saw that none of the pictures we know are true.
What does that mean?
Why?
All these pictures of Earth that have been taken are all composites. None of them real pictures. That alone right there should give you a little bit of red flag.
But that is in conspiracy theory, the composite thing is a little drawn out. So when people take pictures, like for instance, a photographer that's professional of a model, and they may take this picture and this picture and make it look a little bit better, or alter so you can see the lights better or whatever, or highlights, low lights, whatever better. They can now that's a composite picture. So they take that same term that the NASA takes, like maybe 5 pictures of the Earth and composites together, and now that word now sort of means it's a fake picture.
No. The reason why they say it's fake is because they not only just took those composite pictures, but then they started adding and manipulating like clouds using the cloning tool. Like that shouldn't be necessary. If you're just taking composite pictures and making a picture of the world, you don't need to start adding cloning pictures of clouds and different things. So that's where the fakery comes in.
Hold on.
Question.
Here's how I took it when you guys said that. When you say it's made of composites, I'm thinking, okay, if you're saying the Earth is flat, and we know this, they're manipulating it so much to where they're taking pictures of it because it's like being really up close. We haven't gotten far enough away to get an actual.
But go ahead.
Well, here's what I'm saying.
According to them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My point is, when you say composites, I'm thinking what you're telling me is, okay, our satellites are actually not far enough away to get a one good actual shot of a globe. If we do have satellites, which is another conspiracy,
yeah, that's a whole other thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, hold on. I know where this goes.
Yeah.
But let's say, for the sake of this argument, we have satellites, and those satellites are too close to the Earth to get a far away picture, a true picture that we see all the time.
That's what they're saying.
So what they're saying is it takes small ones up close, and pieces it together. But in their piecing it together, they're making it round.
Okay, but it's not to really the moon. Round. We've landed on the moon. No one turned around and said, "Oh, let me take a picture of the Earth from the moon." We've sent satellites to Mars. We've sent satellites. No one was like, "Oh, it'd be great. Should probably turn that thing around and take a picture of the Earth." Like
so we have no pictures from the moon of the Earth or something. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. So why is there no real pictures?
All right, so
there should be.
So let's break it down. So it's a little confusing. So in your view, what is if you can, I don't know if you can verbally state, what do you think the Earth is? Like, what is the?
Yeah. So everyone says flat Earth. So because that's. In your mind, when you say flat Earth, you're thinking just like this table. It's just flat. Right. It's just flat. Okay. It's not flat like that. It's flat in the sense that it's a plane. It's a face. It's not a sphere.
So it could be like a
There's
CD.
mountains, there's dips, there's ups, there's downs. It's got crevices. It's not flat like a table.
Like smooth flat.
Right.
Okay.
So it's not like I can go there and stand and look 100 miles and be like, hey, what's up, bro? It's not flat. It's ups and downs and curves.
It's a
The
plane.
flatness is, yes, it is a plane. It's not a sphere. The other thing that I always, that I never hear too many people talk about is, it seems so obvious. We all went to school. You guys went to college. You guys graduated. I mean, when you see a sphere, which is a ball, man, it is impossible for everyone to be upright the same way.
Why? Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
this is ridiculous.
Slow down. Let's explore that. Let's
Go
explore
ahead,
that.
please.
So you said it's impossible for everybody, because like we have a ball in front of us,
Yes.
right? So why is it impossible for everybody to be upright on a sphere?
Let's pull the ball out.
Okay.
I mean, if the Earth has a top and a bottom sides, if you're over here in South America and I'm up here in North America and I'm down here in China, we all aren't going to wake up and have the same perspective. We all can't wake up and step outside and everything is upright.
Why?
Because it's on a ball. It's a
But
sphere.
you're looking at it from out here, right? If you zoom all the way in, right?
That doesn't change the physical aspect of it being a sphere.
Why doesn't it?
Your perspective does not change that it's a ball.
But no, but where you're at on that ball, if,
If
you're
I
going down
if I hung myself from this light and was looking upside down, it wouldn't change the reality that this is the floor. My perspective doesn't change that it's a sphere. So
I'm confused about what we're arguing about. Like, so are you saying?
No, he's saying. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, so it's a ball. I mean,
But
there's
when you said
sides. The
people
only
can't
way that
stand
everyone
upright?
could wake up in the Middle East, in China, in Russia, in the United States, and walk out and be standing upright
I mean,
is if everyone was literally on the top part of this ball.
but I think there is like, I mean, I don't know science like that, but doesn't that have to do with like gravity a little
Yeah,
bit?
exactly. It's called gravity.
Gravity's magic. How does gravity change?
He said
how, does,
gravity's
how does
magic.
gravity change?
Gravity keeps you on that sphere.
No, I get
I
that.
think that's
but
the point of gravity.
Okay.
And now when you
Okay, but gravity's pulling you to the center. So if I'm on the side of this ball standing up,
the Earth keeps you from going to the center.
but it's pulling me towards, but I'm still standing sideways.
Right.
If I'm up here, it's pulling me to the center. If I'm at the bottom, it's pulling me to the center. It's holding me there.
Yeah.
But I'm still standing upside down.
Oh,
Gravity's
I see
not
what you're trying to say.
changing the reality that I'm on a ball or a sphere.
What determines up? What's what, no? What
get it.
determines?
Now you're talking.
No, okay. No, what?
So
no,
that's
no.
what that's
what
what you
determines
have to
up
say.
and down? Because if you're looking at it, no. Because here's the thing: you're talking about people that are actually on the sphere,
Right.
but you're looking at it from a space view, right?
A fixed perspective.
Yeah. So you're looking at it from
A satellite.
Yeah, satellite, right? But the actual reality is the people that are actually in the atmosphere and on the Earth have gravity, right? So what is the up and down? What is up and down if you're on Earth?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is what they're telling us. That there's a North Pole and a South Pole.
Right.
So there is obviously an up and a down. There's a north and a south, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if this is the northern part of the equator and the southern part of the equator,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's on a sphere.
So north means up and south means down.
Not necessarily. But I'm saying you're on a ball
Right.
and it's a sphere. So the reality that you're saying that this is north and south doesn't change that this is a sphere that you're on. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter how big
So,
this ball gets.
Now, have you seen the flat Earth documentary where the guys that are flat earthers set out to prove that it is a flat Earth?
And basically got
Debunked.
Yeah.
with that laser
Yeah.
thing. With
So,
that laser
yeah,
thing.
so at least 17 feet, if you sort of shoot a light, you'll start to drop.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's what I'm saying. If you're thinking it's a flat plane, it's not.
But what explains that? What we actually, in the actual experiment where if Ace were to go 17 feet from me, I'm shooting a beam, the same beam that if he was right here goes directly at his chest. And he goes out 17 feet and now it's a little bit above, almost at his neck. What explains that? His drop in
It could
position.
be anything. That's what I'm saying. It could be a dirt
I could be
level.
standing on
It
a
could-
stool.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
No, but
it could be anything. That's what I'm saying.
What if I'm
But
standing
no,
on a
but
stool
in,
now?
but in the actual experiment, they went really far though, and the laser beam did not line up.
No, that's what I'm saying is that it's not flat like this table. I mean, the Earth has Earth. There's stuff in it. So unless you went and cleared a level and leveled a plane,
Yeah, it was on a level plane. It
but
wasn't-
I'm saying they're perfectly level plane. You could do anything to change that. I'm trying to tell you to use your common sense
I am.
and what you visually see and know. versus someone telling you what they've done and experiment.
But
on.
I
But your
guess
eyes can deceive you too, though.
Our perception of it is flat because we're at this view, like we're here.
But that's what I'm saying.
I don't
Look,
know the word to say. Our perspective.
Okay, wait. Check
But this
this
is what I'm
out.
saying.
Hold on,
So
hold on.
your perspective, you're saying because we live on this or we go outside, this we could walk for hundreds of miles and it seems flat to us. That doesn't change the fact that you're on a sphere because at some point in time you have to start turning down the
And
side
you do.
of a sphere.
And you do.
You do? How?
Just if you go anywhere, have you ever been on a cruise ship?
But I'm saying it does. Your
So
perspective.
what explains a cruise ship? If you're standing at,
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
If you're at the shore,
you're on a ship and it's staying flat on a plane
I should
forever.
see
I've
see
seen-
ships in Europe then, right?
Okay, wait. Check this out. Check
No.
this out. Hold on. I've
can't.
seen.
Your eyesight only has. a
But I'm saying
limited
no,
division.
not my eyes. But I'm saying even with the biggest telescope, I should be able to stand in California at Venice Beach and see boats leaving from
But
England.
there's fog,
No.
there's smog, there's all kinds of different things that get in the way of vision.
So no obstruction though. I'm just saying the actual idea
So,
of it.
yeah,
I
so
should
if
be
it was
able to.
absolutely crystal clear sight,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say probably yeah, you should.
Okay.
Yeah, he's saying if you're on a completely flat plane that there's. I get that, but I have seen that whole thing about when the ships go and it looks like they're sinking down and all that stuff. And one of the people that was saying they did kind of debunk that whole thing was that is only something to our eyesight and how far we can see that it seems that way. But if you stay in your same fixed position and you're looking at that same ship that looks like it's dipping down, which they say is the curvature of the
Dips-
Earth, and all you do is
disappearing over the
zoom
curve.
in, and all you do is literally like zoom in,
It comes right back in.
it comes right back into view. How do you debunk that?
I've seen videos where it doesn't happen.
So it doesn't happen.
Where you can't see it anymore. Like I've seen the debunk. Like people actually go out. Scientists go out. Here's the other thing. Is there any scientists that are flat earthers or any researchers?
I'm sure there
Or
has.
is there any peer reviewed studies, journals that say flat Earth is flat Earth? Or is every scientist in this world,
Just wrong.
or are we just debunk it, or not caring about education anymore?
Well, this is now you're talking. You're getting into some other stuff that
No,
I did.
it's
No,
all-
because I'm saying when you say scientists,
Right.
I in my mind
Paid
comes
agents.
like some place that you go online and pull up like
Right.
footage of three guys in a white smock and one of them's got that big silver.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, scientists said, because who are these scientists and who does conduct these studies? Because I see that stuff online all the time. They be like, and according to scientists, well, which one? What study? Who are these people? But I know what you're saying. Are they all in on it?
But that's the thing. That's why there's procedure. That's why.
And I'm sure, I know for a fact, if you go online, I'm sure there are scientists that have been converted over that believe in flat Earth and believe in the Bible and God. So I'm sure that they're not all 100%. But my thing is, yeah, there are, like I said, there are secret societies or brotherhoods. Yes.
So I think that
the easiest way to control what you see picture wise, media wise, is to be in control of the content. Who's in control of that content?
right.
It's not a whole bunch of people. It's one
Well,
big.
see, this is where it gets a little. This is where I like to say I'm a conspiracy observer because it gets a little deep. Because there are some real conspiracies, like you said. The family. There's only like 3 or 4 families that can control,
Yeah.
like the Murdochs. They control all of media
Yeah,
Right.
on both sides.
companies.
Yeah, like everything. There's no conspiracy
Right.
around there.
They can literally control
Yes.
everything we see and hear.
So it's like literally with someone that much power, there has to be some type of, like you said, manipulation
Absolutely.
or
it's only human nature.
period.
It makes more sense than it doesn't.
There's no
right?
way around that. Yeah,
Yeah.
It makes sense to who?
No, I'm saying it makes
No,
sense
I know,
that
because I'm saying because the majority of people,
Oh, got you.
don't
they
think so.
even though when you tell them, they go, yeah, that makes sense, and they go straight watching TV like, oh wow, did you see what happened tonight? So yeah, I hear what you're
Do you ever feel like sometimes you go, some conspiracy theories are like lead you so far into a
Too
hole
far.
Yeah.
where you kind of chasing your
But
tail?
that's what I'm saying. That's why you have to have some type of grounding. And if you have a grounding, you won't dev off into that. I used to be a firm believer in aliens. I grew up in the 70s, in the 80s, 90s, Space Camp, in Star Trek, in Star Wars. I even wrote a movie script on how I believed it, just like Indiana Jones, he's an archaeologist, and he goes and searches for the lost ark and stuff. That was why aliens visited our planet, because every planet had some type of Bible. And in their Bible, it stated that there was a place, just like the Garden of Eden, that God created creatures in his image. And they wanted to know what the God of the
this
universe
is your
look
movie
like?
script?
So that's yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so this is why they would come visit us. So I mean, I was a full blown
So you
on
don't
into
believe-
aliens.
You don't believe in aliens.
Oh, absolutely not. There's no way.
So you don't believe
There's
in.
no way.
So you don't believe in space.
No,
There's no other planets.
no.
Just us.
See, I feel like we have to unpack this onion slowly
Yeah, yeah.
because
There's no-
we go too fast. You're
Yeah.
like, hold on, bro.
No.
What do you believe in?
Yeah.
So no
There's
aliens.
No space.
No-
Space is where
no
God
space?
is. No space.
So wait,
I've
wait,
never
wait.
been outside the firmament.
How is that? How is that?
Wait, by saying no space, that means you completely disbelieve
what we
in
what we
anything.
believe space is, because all we believe space is what they've told us, and that's another thing. Like I said, you guys are some slightly intelligent people. I don't know how highly
slightly.
intelligent.
Don't
I don't know how
say
highly
Hey,
intelligent.
no, come on.
Shit.
We
Nigga been
slightly
reading, cuz.
intelligent. Hold on,
Yeah,
cuz.
come on, cuz.
Relax. Come on,
Nigga
cuz.
smart as shit,
Alright.
cuz. All right, go ahead.
But
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying, just it's like silly things, like common sense things, like like even when you're in outer space, it's like, well, why is everything so slow?
Because you're not in the atmosphere.
Not in the atmosphere.
You have no
No.
gravity.
So think about
There's
that.
science explanations for that, though.
No, okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
But why do you believe them, Brandon?
But that's what I'm saying.
Why do you
Because they're
believe them?
pure. Okay, here's the thing.
Who's the scientist that told
What
you?
is space?
Here's the thing.
So what is space?
When-
Space is a void.
Do you know? Okay,
It has
When we say-
no.
when I say these theories, it's not one scientist that stepped out.
I
and
get
said
you.
it. These are so a scientist can step out and say,
What is the definition of science?
Wait, what?
The definition of science.
I don't know what the definition of a science is.
well, the general. You want to pull it up too?
Please do.
Hold
Oh,
on.
go
All right,
ahead.
so the definition of science: a branch of knowledge or study dealing with a body of facts or truths systematically arranged and showing the operation of general laws. The mathematical science is like.
So, in order for you to have a scientist to have a general law or become a fact, I can't just say it. I have to say, if I hit this glass, it's gonna make a noise. Then you, as a scientist, do the same thing. Or I
Right.
can repeat it. You can repeat it. You can repeat
Yes.
it. Then it becomes a fact.
Right.
So when people say, "Oh, go ahead,"
I was gonna say, but what if one scientist goes, but what is noise?
well, then that's a different thing.
I
But I'm
don't think.
What if
Brandon's-
one's deaf?
I don't think Brandon's point is that like
Yeah.
literally every scientist has to agree, but there has to be a majority
Yeah,
consensus
there has
that
to be
like
a peer reviewed.
yeah.
But
And
this is
repeatable.
so now you're talking about that's where the conspiracy comes from, because you're talking about scientists that log on to, like I said, if you become part of NASA, if you look, you
a
got the
fraternity?
internet right here. You have to be a Mason. You astronauts are all Masons. If you're working for these people, you have to be part of the brotherhood, because what is one of the main things?
Wait, is that a fact?
Yes, pull
All
it up.
astronauts are Masons?
Pull it up.
Is that a fact?
I don't know if it's a fact, but my grandfather definitely used to tell me he's a Mason. He used to definitely tell me all.
But I'm saying their
engineers
thing
are-
is we keep you keep
Wait,
your
he
mouth
said,
shut.
say that again?
all trained engineers are
Masons?
Masons.
No, and I'm saying, so
So I
you're
have
talking
her-
people that control and manipulate our world and our life. And like I said, this to me is the biggest one. So
Hold
if
on.
you can deceive,
I got you. I hear what you're saying, but I just want to go, wait.
Slow down, yeah.
Slow that down real fast
slow
before
down.
we just
It's really back.
go over that. Yeah.
It's really back.
You said that your grandfather,
Who was a third degree Mason?
Mason,
yeah. Used to
said that all,
trained engineers are
train or training?
trained engineers.
Okay, train engineers.
And he has and judges. So he'd always say those two things. I don't know if that's like, but his
No.
blanket statement
So,
I
of
agree.
I hear you. Okay, so what we're saying is that all train engineers, which why all train engineers?
I'm just repeating what
They're
he
like
yeah,
transport
I
or
don't
something?
know.
I don't know.
know.
But they have to be Masons is what
that's
he
what
said.
he was. Yes.
So there's some system, some long brotherhood system that's like, we're only hiring cats that are Masons.
what
or
do you
understand.
think our presidencies are?
Okay, hold on. So, but I'm saying if it's at the level of train engineers,
Right.
Okay, and then you said who else? Judges.
Judges, yeah.
All judges have to be Masons. So in a brotherhood, though, and we're gonna break that down. In a brotherhood, first and foremost, the brotherhood takes place of everything else,
Absolutely.
right? Their rules, their laws, their whatever.
You were initiated into
You're
it.
in it, and that is
Absolutely.
what is sacred before everything else.
Yes.
So we're saying train engineers, judges,
Yes.
At least.
and now you're also saying NASA.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how much of the population is a Mason, and how
No,
deep?
so like he clearly said 33
33rd degree.
degree Mason.
I don't know what that means,
There's
but
a
it sounds like it's
difference
high up.
Between, yes,
the highest.
because what
Obama was 32nd.
regular Masons know coming in that
Jesus.
this, they can help the community, that they're good for the community, they do. There's steps, and there's the initiated and the uninitiated. They consider you uninitiated until you get to the 33rd degree. After that, you get brought into the fold, and you're initiated. It's a different set of rules. All the words, all the symbols have a different
Okay,
meaning.
hold on. So if we can agree, this is a fact amongst our
Mm-hmm.
discussion right now, that there's a group of people whether
Yes.
it's Masons or Illuminati or whatever you want to call them. But there is a brotherhood that is controlling certain aspects of our society. You agree with that?
I agree with that.
You agree with that, B? You agree with that?
Oh, of course.
Okay, I know you agree.
And I don't even think certain, but go ahead. It's more than certain. I mean,
You're saying it's all aspects of society.
more than likely.
So I guess the bigger question is how long and how rooted
Mm-hmm.
is this group? And then what's the cause?
Okay,
And
so-
what's the what is the point in all
So here
of
we
it?
go. This is what I'm saying. So this is where the majority of people that even believe in conspiracy theories are going to have an issue, because if you do not believe that there is a spiritual war going on in spiritual warfare, that this is where it's going to fall off at.
Okay.
Because all of Masons, Illuminati, the Knights of Malta, I mean, the Rosicrucians, I mean, there's thousands of these secret societies.
Okay.
Right.
Every one of them that I've done research on, all of them are Luciferian worshipers. Every one of them.
Okay.
So,
I was just about to ask you that. 'cause
every,
I've
stop
heard-
there, stop
every
there.
one of them,
All right, let's stop
every
there.
last one of them, I've
Okay.
done research. They're all
All
Luciferian
right,
worshipers.
let's stop there because I'm trying to streamline this and make
I
sure we
got you.
compartmentalize
I
it.
got you.
Okay. So what you're saying is basically they're all sinister and all have evil plots and intentions. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
But the point for you is, because you believe in the biblical base and all that
Absolutely.
stuff, is there's a spiritual warfare, and all of that is to fulfill this agenda,
Yes.
I guess, set by the devil. Let's say.
And this is
Okay.
yeah,
But what is
that's why they do what they do.
what is the other viewpoint of people who don't believe that there's a spiritual warfare? What is the point of what they're doing, or if they or how they're existing? And are all of these separate groups working together, or are they not having like power war struggles with each other?
They probably have had some type of inner struggles, because once again, that is the father of lies. That's Satan. That's what he do. That's what he does.
So they're not working in cahoots.
I'm sure they do, but I'm sure they've also had their inner qualms with each other.
Okay, but
But
so
at
then
the-
what? So aside of spiritual, what could be the other?
There is
Other
no.
thing.
This is what you're promised. It's the same thing he's done in the beginning of the time. He promises you immortality. Same thing he offered Adam and Eve, that if you eat of the fruit of the tree, that you will know good and evil as God, and you will be as gods.
So
Or
how,
as God.
Okay.
So from what you know, B, from whatever you've gathered,
Yeah.
technically your grandfather or whatever's 33rd degree,
Mm-hmm.
you could be a spy. You technically could
You come
be.
from a family.
You come
the
from the family,
pedigree.
cuz.
The pedigree.
The pedigree. Now you might be
I wish I
initiated.
was. I wish I was.
right.
I was too young when he passed. So otherwise, if I was 18, I would have. You know what I mean?
You would have done it? Why though? Why do you say you would
It
have
was
done
something
it?
that was never offered to you?
I wasn't old enough.
Okay.
If my brother was offered it, but he didn't take it. But you have to be 18 to obviously join. But he'd passed before I was 18. Otherwise, I would have. I would have. You know. Done
You would have done it, but why do you say you would have done it? Like, what makes you go like, yeah,
just
for sure?
just to see.
No, I'm
curious.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Just hop into the deadliest gang in the world.
Because
Disinformation.
they have a proven track record of being successful and placing people in success. It's like when you go
At
to be
what
a
cost?
fraternity, when you be a Omega or Alpha, whatever it is, it's because they're going to take care of you. When you get out of school, you could be a straight D student.
So hold on, there's no poor Masons.
Your fraternity brother
The
runs.
cues and all that.
What I'm saying,
They're
if your brother
that's-
fraternity-
that's the lower level of it. It's the same exact thing. It's all the
They're
same.
taking
it's
care
all
of
the
you.
same
Yeah, yeah.
exact stuff.
You're part of the fraternity. You come out. I don't care how qualified someone is. You're my brother. We're taking care of you first. That's the type of stuff we're talking about.
Is it Mason?
You're asking what's in it for them? That is power.
It's not. It's not a secret society. It's a society with secrets.
All right.
That's what my grandfather told
That
me.
means that everybody knows the society exists, but you don't know what
I mean,
they
they
know.
be having the little stickers, but the little
No, yeah, we see. I've seen a Mason building. I've seen a Mason building with no windows.
yeah,
I'm just like, I wonder what that is.
it's definitely not a secret society.
It's a society with secrets. I like that.
Yeah. That's dope.
All right, let's talk about something more recent because I think this is actually be good for, just topics. Are you familiar with Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes.
Did you see the recent news just a couple hours ago before we
Killed
started?
That he's dead.
Yeah.
And the island is on fire.
So here's my take on that. He may very well be dead.
Wait, what?
Well, let me explain why.
Here we go. Here we
You
go.
took it
No,
somewhere
because-
I'm saying I wasn't even thinking like
Yeah.
he's
Be-
still alive.
because you don't know what he knows, and you don't know what position he's been in. And once they feel that you're compromised or that you're no longer worth anything, what's the point of having you around? So,
So
they might have took him out. But at the same time, when you're a part of that fraternity, they may have just faked his death and that dude's living lavishly
I don't
up
know.
in
Bill.
Mount.
That's a stretch.
No,
No, I'm
because
saying.
I can see where you're
No, I'm
going.
saying.
Yeah. If he came from a position of power from a family or something, I could see that happening. But he literally came from nowhere, and all of a sudden it's just
No, we just don't know where he came from.
No, I mean financial people like forensic accountants can't figure out where his actual money comes
Isn't
from.
that more evidence that he came from somewhere?
No,
higher up?
or he just knows how to. He's a dealer.
They set him up.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I can facilitate, if I'm able to facilitate, and this is sick because this is actually what's going on. If I'm able to facilitate human trafficking and get all the young kids and boys and girls that you want, that is a power in itself that's equated to that type of money.
That's that eccentric stuff we was talking about.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
you're the facilitator. You're the person. You're the
Man, and you talking about evil at a high level.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
that's
Man.
scum of the scum.
But
And
the
I
thing
think
is,
I asked you, I was like, who could afford an island? Like,
but the thing is there any high level where that's not happening today? So
no, I don't.
There's nothing.
I don't believe so. I believe if you're in office, I don't care if you're a governor, the president of the United States, all these Congress, they all have to take some type of initiation, and they have to keep doing it. The more power the more you have to do.
Why? Because you have to have some power over the person that's
No,
in
but
power?
you believe in what you're doing. You believe that by sacrificing young children or drinking their blood or having sex with them, whatever it is, that it's giving you more power and authority and it's keeping you in grace. So that's why it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. It's disgusting. But that's the reality. That's what I said. People, the average me and you or anyone out there that's working, that goes to work to pay bills, take care of their family, we can't comprehend that level of evil because we don't deal with it except for movies.
Right.
But that's the reality of the people that are over us, that have authority over us, that create rules and laws, and you can't understand how these people get off and do the stuff they do because they're just on a different level. We're down here, they keep you busy, the rats running a race, paying bills. They're way up here creating laws to keep you down there while they do what they do. So
It's easy to kind of write that stuff off as like somewhat of a conspiracy, but then when it's put in your face, like with Jeffrey Epstein,
It's
you're like,
definitely
okay,
And it wouldn't be the first time.
It's more irresponsible to act like it's
Oh,
just
for sure.
conspiracy
Yeah.
I mean, you got the
than to
Catholic.
deal with
Yeah.
what is really happening.
But look, once again, you're talking about there's 6 major media corporations. Boy, they could play that out. I mean, this happened. Oh man, you come up with a new disaster. Forget about this dude. Start bringing all kinds of new stories. We're just flooded with stories. We're just so jaded.
Well, and you know they cover for each other. For instance, this is like
Oh, big
this,
time.
this is on a lower level, but like
yeah,
when
big
Terry Crews came out about his sexual assault, whatever. Russell
Terry
Simmons,
Crews?
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
a
big
guy,
time?
a guy, sexually, an exec at a party,
What?
and so when Terry Crews came out about it, Russell Simmons sent him a whole email talking about you should back off, leave this alone, don't do this, don't worry about it, just let it go under the what he called wayside,
Yeah.
because Russell Simmons is a fucking creep too. So they're all kind of in corroboration, some way, working together to cover each other. Because if I cover you, you cover me. Maybe it's not my day to day, but tomorrow I may need
Right,
you,
yeah,
and today you need me. So let's
talk.
just, you know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
Ugh. I don't even think about how
I know,
dirty and just
that's
nasty.
why. But that's why I always tell you about I can't stand the
Yeah.
industry because that's just how the industry.
That's the other
is.
thing. That's why Russell Simmons is in Indonesia because there's no extradition, and he's a fucking
You
creep.
are
He's a
like-
fucking
you
creep.
can't stand
He's a
Russell
fucking
Simmons. Every
creep.
episode, he cannot
Dude.
stand Russell Simmons.
Dude.
Like, what?
He's such
I'm
a
with you,
creep.
dude. He
That's
is-
such
he
a
is, like,
fucking
creepy
creep.
looking.
I don't care what you've done in the music. I don't care about
evil.
Run DMC. If you're messing with kids, you're done
Yeah,
forever.
man.
That's disgusting.
I'm with you.
That's
In
the
fact-
lowest of the low.
I don't care. You're done. Everything you've ever done is.
But that's what it takes.
All right, well, let
So
me
I'll
ask
say-
this
go
real
ahead.
quick, real
Go ahead.
fast. This is kind of a sidebar, but it was something I was thinking about. All right, Christians. I want to clip this out. People as Christians, or any other
Any
religion.
secular, yeah.
No, any religion that this qualifies for. But I'm not well versed in other religions. But so I'm going to say Christians. Are y'all praying right now for Jeffrey Epstein's soul and that he is in heaven and forgiven for his
That is
sins?
so jacked up.
Are you?
But-
No, I don't want to
No,
know. I just
no.
want to know. Are you?
You have to, just like you have to pray for your leaders, just have to pray for that everyone. You want to make sure that everyone's soul is right. You don't.
So
know,
are you hoping that Jeffrey
No,
Epstein-
I'm not saying. Here's look it, but you don't. We don't know what got him in the circumstances. We don't know what he went through before. If he is actually dead, you don't know. Just like no one knows you.
But let's.
And so even if someone came to me and was like, "Oh man, Asa was out, raping children," I'm like, "Nah,
don't get that soundbite to the world. Don't even get that soundbite to the world. Cut that.
But I'm just saying. I mean, if that came to me and I'm like, "There's no way," and I know you, I know how you've been, but I don't know you, what you do, and in the time of your death, before that, I don't know if you were like, I know I did wrong.
Here's what I'm saying. We know Jeffrey Epstein was a creep.
He said no, it's a fact.
Hold on, Bill. Hold on. We know this as a fact.
They paint Hitler as a damn creep. That dude might have been an all right guy for all I know.
Wait, what?
Time out.
I'm not even gonna go.
I gotta pee on that. I gotta pee on that.
Look, man.
Holy guaca freaking moly! It sounded like you were trying to say Hitler's not who he was painted out to be.
I'm saying
but
Hitler's
hold
been
on.
painted one way. And
Hold on.
All is the way that he's been painted.
I mean, I do agree that, like, in a sense, that like whoever wins the war gets to tell the story.
Absolutely.
I see that point.
No,
of
but
it.
that's obvious. Okay, but that's not what I'm saying. Going back before we cross that bridge, before we jump over there.
I'm not saying I'm a Hitler fan or enjoy Hitler. I was just trying to make a point.
Okay, but my point is this: in this particular argument, we know Jeffrey Epstein is a creep. We know he's either probably done it himself, messed with young kids, young girls, and also facilitated it for other people. We know this. All right, let's just assume that is a fact for this statement. Being that is a fact, and let's also assume that the fact that he did kill himself and he is dead, he did hang himself or he got murdered, whatever. The point is he is in fact dead, right? There's no other conspiracy about that.
Well, then, if he's dead, you can't pray for him.
No, all I'm saying is, are you hoping or praying that in his final moments, he got right and that he's in heaven? That's all I'm saying. The scum of the earth like that.
Oh my Lord, man!
As a Christian, are you
so
saying?
Ridiculous. I'm gonna say no because
why, man?
Look.
No, I know the obvious reason why, but I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, as a Christian, you're called to, What about? It's the same thing as
I'm saying.
What's his name on the cross? On a cross
yeah,
for Jesus.
Dude was a murderer.
Yeah.
I use that all the time.
Yeah. So isn't that not the same thing?
That dude was a murderer. Absolutely.
So if Jeffrey Epstein was like right before he hung himself was like, Lord, I'm sorry.
But that was the point I just made.
What?
That you don't know what he been through and what he said.
And all I'm asking you is, are you hoping that that's what he did to save his soul, or are you hoping that he gets what he gets in hell?
Yeah, I hope the Lord reached him.
You don't even seem like you believe that. That's the tough part. That's the tough part about forgiveness.
It is.
The tough part.
All right. So being a conspiracy theorist and religious, is there conflict? So we live on a flat Earth. So what is heaven and hell then?
What is heaven and hell?
Yeah. What is heaven and hell? Like you believe in religion, right?
Yeah.
Which also conspiracy theory.
Well, I don't believe in religion, but I feel you.
He believes he has a relationship with God.
No, that's okay.
Yes. What's the idea in your head of heaven and hell? In this
hell is absolutely a place void of God. And as far as burning forever and ever and ever, that's something that I have to do a little more research on myself. I find it hard to believe that there's a place that while we're living on a new earth and with a new heaven and everything is fantastic, we have new bodies, that there's also a place that's existing where people are just being burnt forever. I did do one thing I did do on that word it was ever. When it says ever, that the Hebrew version of ever meant for as long as it takes. That was what that ever meant. And so to me is like if you being destroyed or burnt takes 10 seconds, that's ever and ever. Like you're burnt up, centered, done. You're out of. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying I'm a guru and know everything. I'm just saying that that's something I have to look more into.
Can we jump back across that bridge that you started to utter about Hitler really quick?
No,
I don't know what you were trying to say, but I want to clear that up.
Is that is what we've been presented with. We weren't there. We don't know the facts and
there are a lot of facts that we know about that, and there's a lot of documented facts, and there's a lot of photo evidence, and there's a lot of body evidence of who Hitler was. So what do you mean?
Like I said, but there's also things
people who lived through it and
there's also things I've seen that said that those things didn't happen as well, and that also that he didn't die and that he was.
Well, I mean, I think that's where.
Well, like
the
I said,
age that we're in now, like you're obviously there's gonna be people that display both sides. Like you can find on the internet whatever you want to believe in.
Period.
That's true.
Yeah, you can confirm whatever,
but that doesn't mean that.
But you can't.
One side is true.
You can't find Scholastic Journal peer reviewed things that go both
That's
sides.
right.
No.
Like if you go to I think scholar.google.com, those are all journals that are actually peer reviewed by other scientists or
and no
people-
one's going, the Holocaust
Yes,
never
yes.
happened. Nobody's saying that.
You may
Yeah.
find it at holocaust.com or some denier.com.
Some
but not
dude is
a-
like, it didn't happen.
no.
Okay, yeah, no. Absolutely not.
But once again,
Okay.
those are peer reviews.
Okay, but now here's another
Yeah.
thing. Now we talk about, I don't know if you said Rothschild or whoever controls
Oh,
media,
yeah.
right?
Murdoch was the one I said, yeah.
Now, what about the control that we have now with technology and stuff now? Like, we are the media. How much manipulation or how much power have they lost with the ability for us to present the news as it's happening and as it's going, not just funneled through these networks? Like, we are networks now. Like you said, we're the peers now. We're doing a lot of this.
Now it's kind of like it's sand. In a way, it's sand going through their hands. Like some stuff they can't control, but at the same time, like for instance, like one of the main things like these Russian tech companies or whatever bots were doing, everything on the internet's algorithm based. Excuse me. So for instance, they'd watch a cat video, then watch an alt-right video, then a cat video, alt-right video, and then just so in the algorithm it starts to pick up exactly how you're going. So in one sense, they can control and like, so for you, you may feel like you're
Manipulate,
you feel like you're going on YouTube like, oh, I'm in this place of freedom, not knowing everything on your plate was given to you.
That was a great example.
So you think,
That was a great example.
So you think like, oh shit, I'm making my own food, I'm doing this, but no, this is presented to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you feel a sense of freedom, but you got a sense of freedom within this box they gave you.
Right.
So they can't control everything, but they're able to control
Manipulate and
But they're
flow.
able to control what the mass number of people see through algorithms and that type of stuff.
And not only that, even if you did come out with the truth and put it out there, man, they could be real quick to debunk that.
It's easy to
With
question.
their
Well, it's easy to
own-
make somebody out to be crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But especially when you have control over all media outlets.
Absolutely.
Like, you could say some real facts right now, some solid
No,
facts
real
right
talk.
now, and all I have to be like, Bill doesn't believe in the Holocaust.
Right. And they'll take that sound
And
bite
they'll be like, well-
and put my picture and I'll be like, no, I mean,
That's the way
but
Hitler was
that's how it
represented.
works. And that was a great example because that's exactly how YouTube and all these different things, you upload your information to these sites.
So
you
what do-
give them the right, just like with Facebook. You sign that, you give them the right to your photos, your information, all that, and they can do what they want to do with it. They could cut you off,
Yeah, period.
edit, take your pictures down, tell you it's not.
All right, so now we kind of delved into the secret societies and all that, flat Earth, a little bit. But one of the other things that's a little, to me, more important is how has these conspiracies or control or whatever gotten to us on a health standpoint from our food, from a perspective of our food? Because one thing I've super noticed
Let me take a
is-
drink on that one.
is the freaking wave of what healthy is. That changes all the time. And right now what's killing me is this vegan push. Now don't get me wrong.
Amen.
I understand that some people have lived vegan, can live vegan, and can live healthy being vegan. Just like some people can live healthy being meat eaters. Just like people can live healthy being all different types or having all different types of dietary needs or restrictions or whatever. But my thing that this huge push is like, yo, if you're not vegan, you dying.
Yeah.
What is that about? And most people that are eating vegan are not eating healthy. And being vegan by itself is not just being healthy. But I want to know
Go
why
ahead.
there's this huge, crazy push about different stuff all the time. Like
I can answer. Go
paleo,
ahead.
and then there's vegan, and then there's
For me,
What
I
is
think
that?
for me, I think there's two levels to it though. So there's some people that just say, I agree, like if you're getting meat from the worst farms and stuff,
Absolutely.
you're putting yourself at question. Like
100%.
there is a lot of things you're opening yourself up to and making yourself vulnerable to. But the second level to it, where you like the just the craziness of it, like there's
Right.
no just we shouldn't be eating meat. I don't understand. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But I do understand like there are certain places we should not be eating meat from.
right. I get
But
that.
the genesis and overall of just like we shouldn't be eating meat,
Like meat by itself is bad.
it doesn't.
It doesn't
yeah,
matter
I
if you
don't-
get it
yeah,
super
yeah.
fresh, straight from the kill. It's bad on
I
its own.
just want to make that distinction. I do.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
no, I
agree with
know.
that one small. But you go on like the overall thoughts of veganism.
But is that's also the
Well,
same thing with vegetables?
I mean, I was reading this book like a long time ago, and it was like this author, he traveled to like all these places where people lived like for very long times, like more like 110 years or something like that. Like that was like an average length, and he did note that their meat intake was like a lot lesser than what American would eat. And then he also noted that like when American culture came over to that population or whatever, he
Western
noticed
diet.
that like everybody started to die like rapidly, like
And
really
get
quick,
cancer,
like,
yeah.
and get cancer and stuff like that. So I think it comes from a place of just like especially like in American culture, like we overeat meat
Oh.
way too much.
We overeat, period.
everything.
Yeah. We overeat, period.
You'll never go around the world and see as much food as you do
Yeah.
that we get served in America.
Yeah.
Right.
Like period. Like we get so much. Like anywhere you go, they'd be like,
Ridiculous.
yeah, it's pretty much
So-
half of what you should.
So let me touch on this vegan stuff because you're right. I believe vegan is out there just like organic was out there. You know, they put that
I
organic
never
press.
know what's organic.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
put organic on anything.
They would just
Yeah,
put it
and-
because
and
I
it-
did
yeah.
research on organic. I mean, it has like guidelines and rules.
So
that,
hold on, tell us real quick. So at least maybe somebody listening to this can gather something from all this, other than just wild conspiracies. What do you know about the process of something being organic and it not actually being organic? Because I've heard that it can slap organic on there
Yes.
because it's a process, but you can skip most of the process. But if you have this one,
Because who's going out there testing these things? And as in the guidelines, it says as long as you make an attempt to separate your organic from GMOs, and I think it might be like 12 feet. Someone out there might
then
know.
you can say it's organic.
It says organic is simply ingredients are grown without the use of pesticides, synthetic fertilizers, sewage sludge, genetically modified organisms, or ionizing radiation.
Right.
So if it doesn't have any of those things, you can make it say it's organic.
No.
So
but-
organic doesn't mean it's healthy.
inside the guidelines, there's a percentage of that can be in there.
Oh, I got you.
And so, and as long as
Okay.
you make an attempt to try to separate organic from GMOs, then it's good. But no one's, I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I'm just saying, I don't know anyone who's going out there testing these things. It's like as long as you made an attempt and you slap that label on it, now I can charge you more.
So, but to that fact, then basically my point.
And I
is,
don't understand why organic costs more
Well, yeah.
anyway.
Because you're getting a smaller, like if you're not using antibiotics or any of those stuff, you're not getting bigger chickens, you're not getting more produce, your lettuce is smaller.
But why are you charging me more?
Because you're not getting, I'm only able to produce this much, whereas before when I used to use chemicals, I can give you this much.
So they're
now
only
that-
producing
now
less, so they got to
now-
make more.
Yeah, it takes the same. It takes,
No, not from
No,
a
but-
consumer.
no,
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 not
it's
from a
the same-
consumer
yeah,
standpoint.
but
From the company.
but
right.
it takes more, same amount of operation hour and everything
Right.
costs on my part, but I'm giving you half of what I could have if I injected it with
Oh my
these
gosh.
antibiotics.
That makes a little bit of
It
sense.
makes sense. As
Yeah, it
the sickening part is like if you put yourself and your family in these billionaire roles,
Yeah.
you can kind of understand. Like, I want to make sure my kids,
Okay.
kids are. You know what I mean?
Now, but along that lines with the vegan thing.
Yeah.
So here's my thing with the vegan thing. It's being pushed the same way. And you're right. You can eat vegan and still be eating horrible.
Period.
Horrible.
Cheetos all day.
Absolutely.
But think about it along the lines of the meat industry. To them, this is a huge opportunity. How much money do they spend on cattle, on feeding them, from bringing them up, raising them with feed? And so if you give me the opportunity now to go into a laboratory and create some garbage,
They are creating meat, by the
Yeah,
way.
they
that's what I'm
already-
saying.
Yeah. Lab made meat.
I can
is a
get
thing.
off of having to worry about making and maintaining calf and cow. And I can turn that into a great spin and say, we're actually saving the earth. We're no longer killing animals. And so vegan is the move because now we're using this fake meat. Well, all they're doing is saving a ton of money by not having to raise calves, by not having to feed them, by not having to keep them, waste, all that. So that push to me, like if anyone's out there doing the stock market, yeah, I would jump all on some fake meat right now. It's probably
Oh,
gonna
the
be
IPO went crazy for
Bad
Beyond Burgers.
Oh my
like
god!
Beyond Burger.
Those things are
Or Beyond
those are
Meat.
horrible. They're actually horrible for you.
Yeah.
Beyond
I haven't
Burger.
had it. I don't know.
Yeah,
what it
they're
is.
bad for you. But you
Yeah,
know
they're
what?
very
People
bad
are going to eat it because they're going to say it's vegan. And people associate vegan with,
With
eating
health.
healthy.
That's my thing is we always associate these words with healthy. It's good for me. Oh, it's organic. That means it's good for me.
Right.
Oh, it's vegan. That means it's good
What?
for me.
I
No.
think- well, for sure in
It's
America,
100% natural.
for sure in America, I'm not sure how worldwide the veganism is like spreading, but America's always looking for the instant gratification of I'm being healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yes.
it takes a lot more, like you're saying, like they think, oh, I stopped eating meat today, I'm healthy. Like
Right.
no,
See, but
like
that's-
it's a lot more.
And,
to
and
it.
by the way, I just want to
Like-
say this. I'm not, if you're a vegan, that's great because it should be a lifestyle.
Well,
It's
not
how
quick
you
fix.
eat. But I'm saying, but the way it's going to be pushed on you is products. So eating vegan is one thing. If you're gonna, if you have a garden and you're eating, doing things, it's the products that I'm talking about. When you go to the store,
Yeah.
that they making a profit off of people that want to,
Yeah, you're saying
or
consumerism,
think they're eating healthy.
consumerism versus
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Absolutely,
Yeah, yeah,
because you're
Right.
gonna go to the store, go somewhere and it says vegan. You're like, oh well, I'm just gonna get this because it says vegan.
yeah. It's
Right.
like, yeah,
Has
yeah.
nothing to do with you eating
But see,
better or healthy.
we compare it so much to like you said, that guy who did that study to other civilizations or whatever. Yeah. They're planting these plants. They're growing. They're taking care of these plants. I'm going to assume they're not using pesticides and crazy stuff to make them look beautiful so that they can sell it in the market. Like a lot of these other countries are like, they understand there's imperfections in growing their plants and fruits or whatever. They're not looking at a deformed fruit going, ooh, I can't buy that. They're just like, cool, that's a big one, good, throw it in there. Yeah. We're like, if it's not shiny and look like.
I was just telling someone that the other day. I said, if you look at, it's amazing the science behind probably how they create this. Because you go to the market, every plum is the same size, shape, weight, every fruit, every orange, every water. It's like,
but it's all natural.
Yeah, and even same thing with chickens. I'm like, how did they grow each chicken to be the same? Like every breast is the same.
That will tribute.
Like that is crazy.
The first time I went to when I went overseas, chicken wings everywhere else are so small. It's so little. I had no idea. I was like, wait, what? I was like, they're like this. You're like, wait,
that's what it's probably really supposed to look like.
No, that's what I said. I went to Hawaii.
Right.
I ordered chicken. I remember saying the same thing. And I got the chicken, and it was so little. I was like, but the first thing that went across my mind was, that's probably what real chicken looks like.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That was the first thing I said.
That's the other thing. Like, if you go to overseas, like McDonald's is better than what you have here because the meat, everything is it's not so processed and chemical. Like here, you just kind of taste the chemicals in the bread. When you go overseas, you're like, oh, this actually tastes like a burger. Like, this is how it probably should taste. Well, it's weird.
You know that because you go overseas. Brandon's the only dude I know will go to a whole nother country, not experience their culinary uniqueness. He's like, yo, where the McDonald's at? I'm like, what do you travel for?
No wasting time on food. You know
I need that fillet of fish.
How do you guys feel about like the kind of playing devil's advocate? Maybe one of the reasons why we have all this fake food and these GMOs and stuff is because like it's getting harder and harder to feed America. Really, like our population is growing.
I don't believe it at all.
Why?
At all.
You don't believe that we're actually in a famine?
I don't believe that at all.
Okay.
What? I don't. I think we have way more than enough food to feed people. What we don't have the ability to do is to sustain.
Do we have enough farmers though to feed people?
Well, we barely have any farmers, so everything is.
Yeah, finish your point. I think you know where you're going to go.
Well, I was just saying what we have a hard time sustaining is how it is manufactured and produced with all these plastic and different things. So, but as far as food, no, man, you crazy? Look how much. Not that it's real food. Mm-hmm. You're talking about you can't go anywhere. Like you said, we are overfed. How much food do these places throw away? Just think about. At a hotel, just think at a buffet,
every restaurant.
Just think about a restaurant, just think about McDonald's.
Every night.
I mean, you can name 100 off the top of your head probably if we just start writing right now. And imagine how much food they throw every day. Dude, if you just took that and gave that.
When I found out Starbucks like throws away their like pastries every time,
that's because
they can't give it to anybody.
That's the thing. America's so fucked up that they can't give to homeless in fear of getting sued.
Yeah. And that's all it is.
That's such a you
that's
can't
help.
All it is.
Yeah, that's all it is. Well, we don't want them to get sick and then sue us.
There's school teachers across America where like if their students' parents aren't paying for their lunch, and that person that works at the school gives them for lunch, they're getting fired over some stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
Really?
That's crazy.
It is straight down. Yeah. Everything is down to just.
Now, do you think that's a conspiracy control?
I don't think it's
that we would set that kind of thing up.
I think it's
once again. So, like I said, the Bible says it's going to be pestilence. It says it's going to be famine. Like I said, there's no stopping that.
It's human nature. I think,
but no, I think it's corporate greed. So we're a capitalist system, and so now we're at that pinnacle. We've allowed these corporations to take over. They make the laws, they make the rules, and how can they make money? How can they make more money? And it doesn't matter at our own expense of health or anything.
Because the first thing that needs to happen is you guys know Citizens United.
I've heard of that.
Citizens United is what allowed corporations. I think it was I want to say during the Bush era.
To actually be considered.
Allowed corporations to put money into a political campaign.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's what that's where we are where we are now because you have literally now you have Chinese companies that can put $250 million into Joe Biden or whoever. There's no cap. There's no nothing. And you have these companies like now operating as an individual entity where they can sway.
That's major influence.
It's insane.
Major influence.
How do you fight against that? A lot of these politicians are not even that expensive. Like you can get these politicians for cheap. Oh, now let me tell you something else that just made me think of.
What?
Of buying people. So I was looking up. I heard about billionaires. So I heard about Jeffrey Weinstein. He had a lot of Turkish mercenaries that would like harass his accusers and like stalking them or just get And so I went online to find out how much you can get a good mercenary for, and anywhere from around $60,000 a year
What?
to $400,000 a year. You can get like a ex-Marine, ex-SEAL, Blackwater, your own personal mercenary 24/7.
Wow.
Damn.
Your own like personal, like you can like literally on this site I was on, you can build your whole army.
Is this on the dark web or is this regular internet?
I don't know. I don't want to tell you that much. I just want to tell you the figures.
Mason.com/. Put in your password.
The highest I saw was an executive in New York offering $440,000 a year for a all the time security person.
Yeah. No, I totally believe it. I watched
in the wrong
a
business.
good program on the dark web.
Huh?
I watched a good program on the dark web, and that was crazy
It's real.
of what is capable.
It's really real.
How do you
And how
believe any
Bitcoin
program
came
that
to
you
be.
watch now? How do you believe any program that you watch now since it's being all controlled?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Once again, I feel like the discernment of the spirit lets me know. So I'll pray about certain things, and like I said, I believe certain things that I've changed my mind on. But when I ask for discernment, and if it contradicts the word, I can easily dismiss it.
Have you ever questioned yourself? Oh, like I went too far down this hole. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying there was a time when I asked to be shown the evils of man. I literally asked God to show me that. But it got to a point where I didn't want to see no more. Because everything I saw, everything he showed me was it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. It's like, so it's everything.
I was just about to ask you, like,
It's everything.
how do you? I feel like for me, if I were to be consumed with all this information and know the truth, like I would be depressed.
Well,
How
that's
can
what
you-
was happening. To the point, because not only that, but there's like a sort of a ostracizing that goes on because I don't have anyone to really talk to.
Right,
because
right.
in any
the
conversation I
only one.
have ends up being kind of fake.
Yeah.
Because now I don't want to start dropping stuff on people and they be like, man, this dude right here.
Yeah.
And so I go out and I can talk and we can have a good time without having to be like, oh, you believe that?
But we all
I can't believe you.
But in reality, we all put on that type of fake.
No, I
you
know,
what I mean?
but
I
I'm
understand
saying,
what you're
I'm
saying,
saying
though,
when
yeah.
that's what you do,
Past
when
the
it's
surface level,
yes, when it's
past
like
the
you, this was,
surface,
yeah. So no matter where you go, and so it was a little bit crazy. That's why if you watch a lot of things I do or even that I post, I really try not to hammer people. I just give information and hope that it just leads them down a path that they'll look at something and go, oh man, that's crazy.
Okay. What do you feel is your guys' average balance between not being naive enough not to believe in what people would call some of these conspiracies, and then, like B said, diving too deep into the rabbit hole to where, like, once you start believing this, then that case gets to this, and then you're more likely to believe that. But then because you believe these three things, that makes this more rational, and then now you're just spiraling down the rabbit hole of everybody, mind control, aliens are coming after us, and all this stuff. Like, because I do feel like even for me, I feel like I have a healthy skepticism of a lot of things. But I'm not, and I'm open-minded, like you said, but I'm not so open-minded where I'm just gullible to someone just throws out one random
Right.
fact and I'm like, oh yeah, you right. Like even just a lot of different things. Like I do understand human nature. So I can wrap my head around the fact that if you're a billionaire or you have tons of money and you have power, you're not going to want to let that go for anything.
Yeah,
right. And what the lengths that you might go to do that. Some people think that that's crazy because everybody's out here trying to, better mankind and all that stuff. I remember having a conversation with a girl about the Red Cross or something and how someone had found a cure for cancer in some other country or something like that. And I know Dr. Sebi was one of them and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, well, if there was actually ever found a cure of cancer, they would tell us and they would let us know. And I was like, that's a bit naive.
Right.
Like that to me was really naive.
That's
to
common.
be like,
That's common though. Yeah.
yeah, it's just
That's
like,
very
come on,
common.
dude.
But
Like,
that's
you
what I'm
really
saying.
think if they cure cancer,
Right.
they just going, oh, okay, it's $1 billion industry. Boom, now shut with a pill.
Oh, they found
No.
a cure. Finally, thank God. Yeah.
No, that's not gonna happen.
We can stop making money.
But that's exactly that's my point. It's like we're a capitalistic economy. We know this. This is how we operate and stuff. And it's like, how disheartening is it to really feel that everything that we do is manipulated for gain and for money? And that's why I was talking about the food thing, because I'm like, the only way to really eat healthy nowadays is like, man, you're going to have to farm your own stuff. Oh, wait,
have
but
to.
then they're also controlling the seeds.
Yeah.
And you can't even buy like real seeds anymore. So
What's in the
everything-
water?
So you
What's
got to
in the
go to it.
soil?
You got to go to
Yeah.
it. Right. You talk about what's in the water. We talking about somebody sent a video one time on our group chat and I was dying laughing because it was like a 15-minute video basically to say that the water's turning us gay.
that was me.
And I was just like,
So,
you sent me
that
a
is
whole
so
video
funny.
to tell me we drinking gay water?
Oh man! So
Like-
our whole thing is it turned into like now our thing is gay water.
Right.
They want to know, and we were bringing water. They're like, well, did you bring the gay water?
Right. Hold on. Wait, but let me
I
say
made
this
sure I
though.
brought the non-gay water.
But here's the thing that's funny to me is like that as a concept just floored me. Like I laughed for
Yeah.
like days.
Wait, do you watch Alex Jones?
I don't.
Oh,
okay.
Jones.
I don't.
That's the first time I heard the gay water.
Oh, really?
Oh, he said
I
something
never
about
heard
it?
that.
He's like, they're turning our frogs gay, they're about to turn us gay
Yeah,
with
No,
us
that's
in
what it
water.
was. No, my thing is, but here's my thing is, there's literally scientific evidence that proves that.
I get
So,
that.
so it's a truth that's out
Wait,
there.
so scientifically,
Yeah.
chemically, they can
Yes.
prove you're gay or straight.
No. Time
No,
out. Wait.
no.
Let me at least finish this
Yeah.
thought. Okay, so to your point, first of all, it was a concept to me that was just hilarious. Gay water by
Hilarious.
itself
Gay
is
water.
freaking hilarious. Okay, so,
Drinking that gay water.
yeah, like that. Of all the conspiracies, that by itself on the surface kills me. I was just like, bro, I just spent 15 minutes.
Little gay water.
Yeah, learning about gay water. Like, come on, bro. That is crazy. All right, so and
I just looked at his butt. Damn.
Gay water.
my whole mind started going once you said gay water. I'm thinking like, do they market it to gay people? Like, yo, come drink gay water. You know, like that
You're
is
not gay
just
enough?
right. Anyways, okay, so once I got past that, there apparently is some chemical that has been released into this water. I don't know if accidentally or on purpose, whatever the conspiracy might be, but in this research,
Called bisphenol A.
okay, sure. In this research, what was happening to these frogs that was living in this water was that the male frogs were starting to show more feminine characteristics, and ultimately they ended up just being like females. So these males who were drinking in this gay water.
So no estrogen either. No
Yes,
estrogen.
yes. Also,
There is
Yeah,
estrogen.
so
also-
yeah, it's changing their chemical balance. It's
Gotcha.
changing their hormones. So all this study is showing like this. Basically, the stuff that's in this water
Turning
is
gay.
causing this like gender
Rainbow effect.
dysphoria or whatever in these frogs or in these specimens. So then they start translating that into what's happening with us. This whatever the chemicals called. What is it?
Because it's also found in a lot of plastics we use, especially in plastic baby bottles. And so it knows that it leaches off, and that's especially after you heat it up, expose it in the dishwasher and stuff like that, that it creates even more of this bisphenol. I think it's called bisphenol A.
I don't know.
I forgot what
Now,
it's called.
is that just excluding the fact that a natural percentage of not even just humans, animals as well are going to be gay?
No, they're saying that specific bisphenol A, whatever
It's
it's
like
called,
enhances
that
that.
one specific thing shouldn't be in there. It shouldn't be in nature, and it's shown that because of the plastic that we're using and just filtering out into like the streams and filters, that is having an effect on these ponds. But we're also drinking it directly out of our plastic bottles,
I need to
and
see-
so
I
it
need to see a
affects
study on that
more
one.
the children because as they're developing. So I mean, it affects us
Do you
as
believe that?
adults, but it's
Do you believe that?
Actually, yeah, because the studies I actually looked into that.
So you're a
Did you
chemist
see-
as well.
Did you?
You're a chemist?
Am I a chemist? By trade?
Are you a chemist?
Am I? Yes. Yeah, I mix things.
Okay.
So wait. So go on to
Am
your
I a
point. It's
chemist?
like he's not a chemist. Then how
So
can he?
so you heard these chemicals and compounds and you made your own distinction and understanding?
No,
from
that's
there?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It goes through the research. So you look, you find. I've done research. That's funny. And so I came up with that makes sense. And then also you look at where we are today with our children and how they.
Do you
act
see an
up.
issue with that? Where that leap of you just made, like overall, like because this was my problem. That's why I consider myself a conspiracy observer.
degree. Yeah.
Observer. Because once you get too far deep, like I found, seems to be intentional misinformation
I agree with
to
that.
stir the spot.
I agree with that.
To make it cloud, to make things cloudy. Like, but there are real conspiracy and things going on. But if they can spread more disinformation, it clouds the ones that are real.
So, well, my theory behind that is you're right. They do have a lot of misinformation out there, but that's what the discernment comes. But what I will say is that there is so many things that happen that go wrong that once you believe that if these people are in charge. Like you're talking about these Masons, and they're in charge, and they have scientists, and they have people to create laws that, man, all this stuff becomes absolutely possible if they have a certain agenda, which might be just tearing down the males in society, and causing sexual confusion. That if this is what they want to put forward, they have the authority, the agenda, and they have the media to do this. All these things become actually feasible. That it's possible that they're doing it.
I think the last thing you just said is possible, but I think the gay water thing is.
The gay water thing is because you know how Ace is. It was just funny.
That's why.
Because he was like, gay water? We drinking gay water?
We drink water cook?
It's like,
that's gay, cuz?
yeah, he was like, dang, I was straight last year, now I'm gay.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't.
You got dip?
I don't think it works like that.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. That's what
As long as we have
that's
that
what I was trying to.
agreement,
That's what I was trying to say. It doesn't affect adults like that, but children in development years, it does.
Well, I mean, I think that could also be a part of just like.
Or I think it would be.
Happenstance.
They're more
Yeah.
susceptible to it.
Yeah, they could have already been Hamilton. They
Yeah.
could have already been gay.
I don't think you're born gay,
You.
Oh, that's a different.
so we could fight on that one too.
All right, well, that's just one that's not.
We can
that's-
go on that one too.
All right, well,
Yeah.
So
Here you
moral of
go.
the story:
Far,
the Earth
cuz.
is flat. Hitler wasn't so bad. He was.
That's
He was
not what we're taking from
He's
today.
misunderstood. And
God
Y'all
is
niggas drinking
real.
gay water.
Have
Gay
a
water.
basis on truth.
Tap water
The
makes you
world
gay.
is flat.
Tap water
There's
makes you
great.
gay.
You're drinking gay water. Just because something says vegan doesn't mean it's healthy for
yeah.
you. And aliens are not real.
well, look, I do feel like we just barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
We're
all
the
you
re-
can really do.
we're
We
now-
will
yeah, it's too
probably have
much,
to actually
yeah.
just
It's so much.
tackle a topic
Real
and
quick,
go in
Actually,
on
that's
it.
what we'll do next time you come
Yeah, I
on.
think we should just tackle a topic.
Yeah. Because it is hard. We need to just do one,
Yeah.
only one thing, literally one thing
Yeah,
only.
and just
Yeah,
go in.
And break it down.
Yeah,
whole.
and just go in.
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't know-
maybe we'll give you a segment.
Because I didn't realize how hard it would be. Because you do kind of branch
Yeah,
out.
that starts
Yeah,
going
it's
off.
tough.
Yeah,
The
it's hard.
different,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
It's
need
tough
one,
to zone in.
So next time we'll do one.
Yeah.
And
Let's
we'll
do
just
it.
break it
And
down.
we'll just go in on
break
that
it down,
one.
break it down, break it down, break it down.
Absolutely.
Stay on that topic. Because we should have done Jeffrey Epstein, I think, this episode.
I'm with you, especially since it's a hot topic.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah. That'd have got a
See,
lot
it's
of
happening right now.
Conspiracy Wednesdays.
That's a good one. You know IE, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You let me know. I'm here.
Yeah, let's do the next one then. We'll you can come up with the next one actually.
All right.
Small
All
overall.
right.
Topic, and then we'll research it as well. Get
Okay.
it all.
Just
We'll
break it down.
Because that's way easier. Because we're all over.
Yeah, we're just all over the
It's
place.
hard, yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
it's
much-
interesting to see how so many conspiracies and things like that, like,
Or-
some of them have like good, tangible, reasonable
Right.
facts and evidence, and others are just kind of way
Yeah,
out there.
but look at how intertangled they are.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm
this
saying.
is a good first.
There's something where they come from.
This is
Yeah.
a good first just
Oh.
introduction. Just throw everything at the wall. Here
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
go.
Here you go.
We'll slowly break
Here's
it down.
a whole bunch of crap.
Yeah,
we
we'll
just-
slowly break it down. But right now, you just get the full zoomed out view right now. So
Well, here's the moral of the story, man. Stay open minded. Stay
Yeah.
guarded at the same time.
No tap
And
water.
Don't be
Guard your
gullible.
mind.
Yeah, guard your mind. Don't be gullible, and watch out for drinking gay water. I guess. Apparently, that's a
Whatever
thing.
you do.
I don't want you to fall into the
Whatever you do.
spectrum of genders.
Real quick, Bill.
Yeah.
What we like to do is give people an opportunity to blast and promote themselves. So,
Oh,
you guys, if
bam.
you want people to know, let them know.
Yeah. I have a YouTube channel. I have a Facebook page. I also have an Instagram. It is called The Keepers of Chain. I actually have a site, keepersofchain.com, where this is what we're all about, is truth.
Keepers of Change.
The Keepers of Chain, CHAIM.
All right, we'll put it on there. All right. One thing that you may not know is, that you do know,
What's the beat?
before
I
we
know.
say goodbye, we got to bust a flow.
Oh man, my bars.
Two, do you happen to know what time it is?
It's time for a motherfucking freestyle, y'all.
Time for a motherfucking freestyle. B, drop me that beat.
Episode 15. Let's fit it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know what it is.
Conspiracies.
Big Willie.
Title of the check is Conspiracies.
Bars.
Hey.
Conspiracies.
Two, you want to start it?
Sure. It'll be really
Hey.
fast.
Conspiracies.
Yeah. Get it.
Conspiracies.
Yeah.
Conspiracies.
Let's go.
Conspiracies.
Yo, my name is B2. That's how I always started. Let's get it started. What we talking about? We talking about conspiracies?
Conspiracies?
We talking about conspiracies?
Conspiracies?
They got gay water?
What?
Goddamn. I don't know what to say, man.
Yo,
This shit is crazy. So I'ma pass it to my man A so he can explain what's going down.
Oh, that's my pass? That's my
your
pass.
pass.
Here we go. What's up? It's been a while. I was off in Rothschild. I was looking at a couple things. You know, some X-Files.
Whoa.
Looking at conspiracies. Looking at some crazy stuff.
Oh man,
Like, is there vampires or there baby bluffs?
must be.
Oh, hey, they getting crazy.
Getting crazy.
Protect your mind and protect your babies.
Hey.
They out here selling kids to sex trade, and then they burning on these islands, man.
Hey.
They be made.
Hey.
Ooh. And now they hanging themselves. And I'm
What?
looking like, dang, that's crazy, man. They made it themselves.
Damn.
They made a whole bunch of wealth off some greed. And I'm looking at them like, don't reach out for me when you need.
Hey.
All this stuff is hecka crazy. It's crazy. I mean, what did they think they was gonna do? They gonna be lazy. You eating all this kind of food that's not good for you. Like, man, what food is good for you?
Hey.
Is it vegan? Is it organic? Is it something? Is it I don't know. Is this Spanish? Is it food? Is it Arctic? I don't know. I
Is it
can't
Arctic?
start it. I just feel like everything is making us retarded. I don't know if that's PC, but believe me, on the TV, it's all conspiracy and it's geared to make you not think freely. Oh, that's what I meant. Anyways, I'm gonna pass it to Bill. This is what we do, man. Let him know. Give him the red pill.
You know what? It's all about the red pill.
Red pill.
Yeah.
Red pill.
Red
It's all about the red pill.
Red pill. Red pill.
Red pill.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
This is where I live.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
It's a thrill.
It's
a
If
thrill.
you don't know,
If you don't know,
you better have your base.
Hey.
Truth. It's in your face.
It's in your face.
X-Files.
X-Files.
They're coming for you.
ya.
You didn't know.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we about to go.
Yeah.
Conspiracies, episode 15.
Conspiracies. Everything. You
Bill,
confirm it. They're
thank
government. Your food.
Thank you.
Bam.
Thank you for coming.
Come on.
Free smoke, free smoke.
Hey,
Bar skills is tight.
that's
Son.
Yeah.
that's the episode. Thank y'all for watching.
That was dope.
Hopefully you got something from that.
If you
Thank
made
you,
it through
thank
the
you,
whole
thank you.
episode, we
More
thank
coming.
you.
Thanks for coming,
Yeah,
Bill.
that
We
was a lot.
appreciate
That was a lot
that.
to
Hey,
take
man,
in.
anytime. This is dope. I appreciate it, man.
Peace.
All right.